Hey there, everybody. Welcome back with the Flapper. Platypus is the name. Been a little bit since I've made a video, but I'm trying to get my foot kind of back into the content creation game. Where should I move myself? I want you to be able to see my guys. Maybe I'll go over here for now. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But basically, I felt like making a video, a guide video. So I've said over the years, I've made a lot of videos on RPGs, and a lot of times I'll say things like this game is easy or whatever, XYZ. But I do tend to take for granted that I've played a lot of RPGs for a long period of time. And like Octopath Traveler 2 was a great example where I was like, this game was just too brutally easy for me. Even though I had a really good time with the game, it was way too easy. Then I'd get comments like, this game is difficult. What are you talking about? Why is it so easy for you? So I'm going to try making some guides for Dragon Quest Monsters Joker 6. I don't remember what it's called. Dragon Quest Monsters. What is it called? The Dark Prince. Got it. Start software. So yeah, it's just kind of, if you're struggling in the early game, this game can be tough, but if you kind of know what you're doing, you know how these systems, I think you're going to find that you're not going to have too much trouble, at least in the main story. Or at least that's what I presume going through. But if you're having trouble in the really early game, I kind of wanted to give you some pointers here. And I would say that it's going to basically base around go for some breath attacks. That's basically what I'm gonna try to come around to, but I'll tell you exactly what monster I want you to get and why I think breath attacks are good. So let's come over to who has my breath attacks. I don't actually remember right here. Right here. I've got deep breather, but I would say you want to use shallow breather and then get the deep breather ASAP if you're having trouble in the early game. Why am I saying breath attacks are good? Well, unlike having something like whoosh, having a spell, or having a physical attack, or having a, some other combination, breath does not seem to scale off any of your stats, right? It doesn't seem like the higher your attack goes, the higher your wisdom goes, or agility, defense. It doesn't seem to ever affect the damage of these abilities, and they hit really hard. So this is likely to be something that's really good in the early game, like overpowered good in the early game, and then will probably fade and be less good over time. Is this still in the way here? I don't know. Let me just make myself smaller. Here we go. There we go. It's not that important where I'm at. All right. The point is the game. But yeah, so that's basically why I think you should go for breath attacks. Now, they are very mana intensive, but especially if you're having trouble in these earlier Colosseums here, you refresh your full mana in between every round. So if your character spends their whole mana bar to do one attack, but it kills them all, it doesn't matter because they get all their mana back. They can do it for every single fight. Now, this isn't as sustainable when you're going out and farming necessarily at the later levels, but even on an early level, if your character has enough to cast a spell once, when they level, they also get full mana. So it's also a good way for farming every time after you synthesize. So that's why I think breath attacks are good. That's why I think you should get shallow breather. Now, just to do a quick little guide on how do you get shallow breather. So I'll show you. You could actually, this reverse search is so good. So we can go here, never been scouted. I'm going to put don't specify. I'm going to put any combinations of anything. And then we could search. Oh, actually there's two ways to do this. So I'm sorry. This is, yes, the monster I want to show you is here, but let's actually do it from the Monsterpedia first. That way, this is kind of more advice for how you could find stuff in the feature. If you go here to Monsterpedia, you could filter, and you could actually filter by specific talents. So if you haven't found Shallow Breather yet, then you're not going to see this, obviously. But if you have found it, I can confirm, and I can look for monsters that start with Shallow Breather, right? So there's several that I haven't, that I can see one here, one that I know that I've captured that I can. And I remember I had this pretty early into the game. So I was like, oh, how do I get this? So you could look at the suggested combinations. I wouldn't recommend it. Probably. That one seems pretty short. Just come into the synthesis. Don't specify no. Don't want to specify a parent. I'm just looking how to get a Drake Slime. And now I can look at Drake Slime, and they'll show you all the possible combinations. But if you come back further, one of the easiest combinations that I've found that I think would be good for you is this one right here, right? Slime and Vegin Dragona, or whatever this guy's name is. So you fuse these two Gs, these might be the first two units you get in the game, and you immediately get a rank F monster. Now, it's not an incredible rank F monster, but it is actually kind of incredible for when you get it in the game. It has 3-star and MP, which is the most important thing. And it says 3-star agility and MP, which are the two most important things with Breather, at least in the early game, because these spells are kind of hard to do. So when you can synthesize a little bit later into the game, not a little bit later, but like, you know, relatively early, Shallow Breather is going to be the one that you want to get, and that'll push you through so much content. If you're struggling before you get the ability to synthesize, you really should just level up and synthesize more higher level stuff randomly, because you should be able to get to this point pretty easily. I got through to the point where you could synthesize using only 4 slimes, so I think you can get to at least to that point. But then things can start to ramp up, especially as you jump between areas, and the amount of experience you get in this game scales so fast based on the zone you're in that you want to push to as late as zones as possible, as fast as possible, before you really get into the grinding. And breathing is going to help you do that. So I'll go ahead and show you. Once you get breathing up to like whatever, I think it's 100 points, then you get deep breather. And these abilities are just very strong. Let's just go kill something in the Cradle of Corruption. I don't even remember what this is, honestly. There might be some spoilers, there might not. I'm not super story invested into this because I'm not really that story invested into a lot of these style of RPGs. Like Pokemon, I don't care what's happening in Pokemon. I'm here to catch Pokemon, breed Pokemon, raise Pokemon. And this one's like, I'm here to scout monsters, breed monsters, raise monsters. This kind of reminds me of Dragon Quest 10? Is that the new 11? Dragon Quest 11? There's this area where you go inside a painting, and this just kind of reminds me of that a little bit. Let's go and just fight something, and we'll just kind of see the damage of some of these attacks. So I've got deep breather, so we can go here to our boy here, Gremlin, and he only has 95 mana, which is not very much. But you can see here, even then, this is the one you'll get second, but I think even early on you'll get something like Scorch at the end of Shallow Breather. But once you get Deep Breather, even these are kind of weak, right? Maybe you get Freezing Blizzard. You get like Cold Breath or something like that. But you can see these all do like major damage. Let's just do Blessed Breath, right? Major. Is there Extreme? Let's try Extreme. Is that the most mana? 30 mana? Yeah, so that one's the most at only 30 mana. So let's try this one. And then everyone else just kind of do your thing. He's also my fastest. Right, so 180 and 242. It seems to scale mostly off the level of the monster. It seems to be relatively separate from any of its stats. So that's like just a really, really good way to help you get through the early game. And now that's a little bit stronger than what yours will be when you first get it. I just don't have an easier example already set up. But if I come here and we look at the, can I look at the traits in here? I think I kind of can. I can go look at the Drake Slime. And I can come here and I can look at Shallow Breather, right? So you get Flame Breath, so you get up to medium. But then once you get up to 100 points, which is pretty easy, and you synthesize this, either you get 2 of these and you synthesize them when they're both at 50, or you get 1 up to level 100 and you synthesize, you'll get the next level, and then you'll immediately start with things that are like better than this. Because Fire Breath and Cool Breath aren't that good. They're fine, but even once you get the Flame Breath and Chilly Breath, you'll be cruising through a lot of the game. But really, when you get to the Deep Breather, that's when you're just going to push a ton of content, and this will be like your strongest character for quite a while until you do some really specific, like trying to get more powerful things. So I think it's absolutely vital. But let's go ahead and see if I could push another one. I haven't really tried this in a while. The Colosseum. Let's see if we could push it with just like the power of our breath attacks. Oh, we have more. Like our team is just a little more powerful than it was. But the fact that like it'll take all of his mana is not that big of a deal, which is kind of what I'm trying to push here. If you get these really, really powerful spells, this game is set up to kind of reward you for doing that, at least in these early ones. So let's try C. 1,000 gold. How much do I have?
Let's do.
I don't know. We'll throw away 1,000 gold for a YouTube video. Fuck it, bro. Let's go. But yeah, I'm going to try to make more guide videos. I'm not sure exactly what. I could make synthesis videos, but honestly, there's probably better guides out there just online in general. And I'm just kind of fuddling my way through in that regard anyway. Just kind of developing my own strats. I do kind of want to do a speedrun strat kind of thing. I don't want to spoil the fun of this part. So for you guys, if you guys care about that, so we'll kind of ignore that. But you will see the enemies that we're fighting here. So do we have auto battle on? I usually keep fast and auto battle on because my guys are just strong enough. These are some cool looking monsters. Instant bounce, reflecting spells. But you know what? Breath attack isn't a spell, so watch this. These guys are fast, okay. But wow, they're actually way faster than us. So we may not be ready for this one yet, but let's see. Black Breath, so I have another breath attack there, right? Everyone just got dealt 100 damage, and yeah, it doesn't, as you can see, it actually silences them in this situation, and they're also, that guy was immune to it. So that's pretty cool looking. All right, so that did a lot more damage. You can see even up to rank C, they're way stronger. They're almost one-shotting my monsters, but we're so alpha focused that it's like fine. Although they are faster than us. Like, this is probably one that I think I'll realistically lose. I just figured I would try it out so you can kind of see the idea that you just have such strong, these are all AoE attacks that do really, really good damage. That kind of lets us bypass a lot of the early difficulty of the game. Like, this is, I don't think I have any reason to actually do this stuff right now other than the fact that I like it. How much did it hit me for? 94, right? They're hitting me for, like, most of my health bar. Like, that is not good. Oomful is so strong, too. Yeah, nothing I can do about that. That's my breath boy. And we might still be okay. We'll see. Yeah, unfortunately, my Lut Mage is not caring. That second breath attack going is probably going to get me there. So we're going to lose. All right, let's keep it real. But the breath attacks are definitely carrying their weight. It's my low agility that's kind of hurting me here. But that's why the Drake Slime is also so good, because his agility is really high. Watch this. Miraculous Touch. Don't even worry about it. How many breaths does it take? I think all my guys stay dead here. I actually don't know if I've had units die and then not make it, and then continue to make it through. But I assume that everything that's dead stays dead and that we die right here. But I'm not cutting the video. I don't want to edit this. I'm trying to get my foot back into it. Oh, are they all up? They're all standing there. They are all up. Interesting. We might have a chance. Although the large monsters obviously have an advantage because they can attack multiple times in a row, and our breath attacks don't do as much AoE. So, like, this is not ideal. Like, first one got 3 attacks, which is already good, and this guy got double attacks. So it's like kind of the worst of both worlds. But that's one advantage of auto battle is, right, he could Kazing in the middle of the turn, because I would have never have done that normally. But yeah, it's just an agility issue. Not a skill issue, it's an agility issue. But once we get some more agility, like, I think we... Oh, Frenzied State. That's going to help. Oh, never mind. Who would have thought? But yeah. When you find large monsters, you got to be careful, because sometimes they just take multiple turns, and they kind of do whatever they want with an auto battle kind of thing. So if they're faster than you, and they get to take multiple turns, and they have good AoE, you're getting wiped out. But this is rank C, right? I'm not even close to that. So to show you how good I am at this game, and to help you out, I'm going to show you me losing. Which of course is silly, but still, the idea was to get across how much damage you could do with these abilities early. I mean, every story boss I've come up across, I mean, I've killed him in 2 attacks so far. And I know that's going to change, and that's why I'm pivoting away from breath into other styles of damage and attacks, and I have some physical damage dealers that I'm building up as well. Just to have different kinds of stuff in case breath completely falls off a cliff. But it's so good for farming. When you're just running around auto battling, it's an AoE attack with a fast agility character. They go first, they kill everything, battle's over. 3 seconds later, you move on, another battle, boom, you're getting levels. You get up to level 20 before you know it, and then you just keep going. So that was kind of my advice for the early game. I showed you how to make the Drake Slime. Make sure you get to the deep breath ability, and you'll be living high for quite some time. You'll be able to farm fast. You'll be able to push these arenas a little bit further than you would have been able to. And hopefully that means you have more fun, and you get to use cool look. The cool thing about not caring about the stats also, besides the agility, is you kind of get to just use whatever monsters you like, which is why I'm using these ones. I'm just using the ones that I thought looked kind of cool, or ones that I remember from old Monster Hunter games. Anyway. Much love. Per Platypus is per Platypus. I will see you friends in the next video. Peace.